just a voice call, 774-855-9400. We'll take a couple of minutes if you just want to tell us about her and basically what you know at this point, because we would love to get her story out. Awesome. I won't go off air then. Please call. This is what I always say, and this is what I always say to these true crime channels that go out and exploit people or say very nasty things about people. You never know who's watching your shows. You never know who's watching your shows. Brian here from LTL Podcast. Who do we have?
This is Artemis.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. Just getting over a cold. I think it's COVID, so sorry if I
Oh,
sound
no.
but yeah, so Sean, I believe there might have been someone else on there that knows her. We've all been pretty worried about her. We all know her from high school and have a little group chat of our own on Instagram.
Sure.
So we've been kind of following this story as closely as possible. I've been in contact with her sister, and the family is praying. Yeah, you can just go ahead and ask any questions if you want, and I can kind of fill in the blanks.
So the thing that's a little bit weird to me, and it's bizarre, is that when we hear about her in Siegelman trying to exchange euros for
Right.
American currency at that motel, is there any other information about that, or what have you heard about that?
I haven't heard too much about that. I think the things that jump out the most to us, including the family,
Sure.
is that this would be a case of mental health crisis. I don't think her family is thinking that that might be. I mean, I feel like it could be that. It could be the neighbor, and I think I might have emailed this to you.
Sure.
Had a correspondence with me, and he had let me know, and in a post somewhere, he had told the public that she was hanging around some people that were not so good, and he said that they were involved in meth, taking meth, and this is not in her character. So I don't know if when she moved from the East Coast to LA a few years ago, I think she moved in like 2020.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think she maybe fell into the wrong crowd. I think she had a breakup with her long-term boyfriend from the East Coast that she met up with it when she went to NYU.
Mm-hmm.
And then I want to say she probably just fell into the wrong crowd, this PJ guy. Although I feel hesitant because I feel like people should be looking at him, but there's also a possibility, and her sister had let me know, we really feel like this is just could possibly be a sideshow, and this guy is just looking to
capitalize on it. Yeah.
But anything's possible at this point because we just simply don't know. And if she's trying to exchange euros, I know she went on like in a pretty extensive backpacking trip in Europe a couple of years ago. She might have had euros on her and packed up her car. This is just speculation.
Sure.
And then she, maybe she was on drugs or tweaking or something and had a come down, or maybe it was a mental health breakdown, and went to a motel and was trying to exchange the euros or pay for the motel in euros. That's just one possibility. But I feel like at this point, it's like, we really just don't know why she was doing that. And we're all just trying to find answers as much as everybody else. So us all in our little Instagram group following her, and the footsteps and everything that we've been able to find on Instagram, and through some of us have actually spoken to her maybe even a couple weeks before her trip.
Mm-hmm.
I myself haven't spoken to her in maybe a year.
Okay.
But some people had shared, that she had kind of a sketchy situation with an ex-boyfriend, and there were some DMs that friends had shared between amongst each other, and we're like, there's something up with this PJ guy. We just don't know to what extent, if that makes sense.
Sure. Do you know who, there's a question, Lucky Phil is saying, do you know who was getting married out in the East Coast that she was traveling out there to?
All I know is that she had told one of the group members of our group, our mutual friends, we're all friends together, that she was meeting her best friend for the wedding. And I believe it was in New York City, was what she said in the direct message screenshot. And she seemed really excited about it. Like she was, like she wanted to go. And I believe maybe there were some reservations and something having to do with an ex-boyfriend hanging out with a female friend in San Diego or in the California area.
Sure.
So there was like some kind of hesitancy there, but all I know is that it was her best friend from New York and she was getting married.
So Shara says, when I last heard from her, she was worried about her close friends communicating with PJ and fearful for her safety.
Yeah. 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 I think it was, honestly, it was probably the message between Shaw and Chelsea.
And again, you know, when we say all this stuff, it's alleged. We're not implicating anybody. You know, I just want to make sure that we're clear on that online and on air and out there in the public. We're just saying allegedly, because we really don't know. Another thing that was just very strange about it, and I was talking about earlier, is that where her car was found and how the condition it was found in, you know, 2 flat tires on the same side of the car doesn't make a lot of sense to me either. That's very strange. You know, the possibility of that actually happening out in a very remote area, I could see maybe 1 flat tire, but 2 just seems odd. It almost seems like someone slashed the tires or something like that.
Right. And I even said to my group just a little bit ago, I feel like this is of 3 different possibilities at this point. She either planned this in some way or decided, I'm gonna, you know, some people don't want to be found. You know, there's no rhyme or reason to it necessarily. And that's just a sad fact. So there's, you know, that option. And she had this kind of planned out. And then the other option is, of course, foul play. And someone deliberately took the air out of those tires and took her. Something happened on that road. And then the other option would be just that, I guess, that she got on that road and she decided just to, maybe she did get a flat, I don't, you know, and she decided to walk and she was delirious or something. Like, it's, I feel like with those options, she ended up walking away from that car.
Yeah. Something got her away from that car.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Shar says some of the comments on Reddit, I'm sorry to cut you off, says on Reddit about the terrain said that it was rough. I'm sure the police would have shared if the tires was out. Not necessarily, Shar, because we follow a lot of cases here and you don't get always the full information. And sometimes law enforcement will leave that out because maybe they may be questioning people or talking to people to see what they say. So not necessarily, I will say that. But it's interesting. You know, the 2 flat tires just seems very strange to me. Do you know anybody that is the most recent friend that may have talked with her or spoke with her and what that last communication might have been?
You know, I don't want to bother her sister because she was trying to take a break from all the PJ drama.
Right.
So I did send her a DM earlier and just said, hey, you know, I don't want to press anymore, but that was a question we had because none of us really know who this Arizona friend of hers is that she met up with, and that's like a huge
question mark.
In the story, I think.
Okay. Interesting.
So that's a piece of the puzzle we all want to know.
So that could have been, I wonder if that was, like I was saying earlier, it could have been someone off like a dating app. You know, was she known to use that stuff or meet guys from there? Twinder, or what is the Twinder?
Well,
Tinder or Bumble?
I don't think it was a male because there's something in her saved stories on her Instagram, and I believe her Instagram is public, but there's something in her saved story that says, like, two or 3 days before she went missing, it says, on my way to AZ to meet my girlie. And so there, you know, it was clearly a female that she was going to meet. So we don't know who that person was. And we searched and tried to find. We do know, though, that a year ago she did a, like, solo retreat in Arizona.
Yeah.
It was kind of like I don't even really know the details on that retreat, but it looked like some kind of a nature retreat, or I don't know if it was like a self-help place.
Right.
But there's stuff about that on her saved story as well. So she's familiar with the Arizona area. We definitely have alumni from our school that live in Arizona, but no one to our knowledge knows of anything about her, passing through Arizona and meeting up with any of us. So that rules us out. And so it might just be somebody, and Arizona isn't that far away from California,
right?
So who knows, who she could have met.
I just think it's interesting too when we looked at the map that I put together tonight, that it almost seemed like she wanted to go back west at her most furthest point, at the last point before her car disappeared. It's almost like she was heading back in the direction of San Diego and then took a detour and just went straight north, and then that's when her car is found. So it's really strange.
It is really strange and really bizarre. And of course, we don't want to point fingers at the PJ guy, that it's him. But I did even mention in our group tonight that, hey guys, food for thought, on PJ's TikTok, there's a lot of expensive, stuff, I don't know, love of cars and fixing up cars. And he clearly has knowledge about all, sorry, still really sick.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, I think it's COVID.
Oh no.
It's totally sucks. But this guy has a lot of knowledge about fixing up cars, and I think at one point he even helped her tow her car or something that's in her saved stories.
Interesting.
So he knows how to he fixed up his van, his camper, himself. Excuse me, sorry.
That's okay.
But yeah, I think he's definitely someone of interest and someone that would even know information, because he would be someone that she recently talked to.
Right.
So, I mean, I did speak to the Coconino Police Department yesterday.
Sure.
And I gave all of our information that we have.
Right.
So they are on. Oh my gosh!
I feel so bad.
They are on the same page. Yeah, they are on the same page, and they know everything. So they have everything, and they even seemed surprised, with the whole GoFundMe page that he had posted, and we're like, really, wow. And immediately, which was really weird, was that a couple hours after I had reported into them, PJ left Elias. They were together, and then they just did.
Wow.
And I had a conversation with Elias through direct message.
Sure.
As well as Chelsea's sister had a conversation with him as well. And I didn't give away my phone number. I didn't want him to have my phone number. I did get his, but and made sure I got it in case police needed it or something like that.
Right.
But he did let me know that PJ was trying to threaten him physically, and he called the police on PJ, and there was this whole drama scene or something. This guy clearly seems unhinged, as well as PJ. And then the last I know is that PJ was trying to call Elias and get a Greyhound to get to an airport, and to go where, we're not really sure. But that was the whole PJ drama. But again, it's is this just a distraction, or is this something that
should be looked into? Yeah. Wow. Very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. I honestly didn't when I started to look into this, because there's not that much information. I'm like, what can I get out of this tonight? I want to give back this poor girl. We don't know where she is. It's just a mystery. You're out in the middle of Arizona and you just disappear. I'm like, how can I bring this to my audience? And it's crazy. It just seems like the story has tons of legs, and we want to definitely get Chelsea back home safe. Absolutely. And that's why I wanted to do that. That's why I do cases like this, to get information out there of the cases that aren't being talked about in the mainstream media. That's why I think independent media is going to be the wave of the future. We can report on this, get directly to the people that are involved or have information to these cases, and get it out there in some awareness. I want to do this because I know you don't feel well and I don't want to keep you too much longer, but I appreciate you calling in. If I do another show in a couple of days, maybe as some new information comes in, could you call back in and maybe give us an update?
Yeah. Hopefully
Excellent.
I'll be sounding better by then for sure. So I'm on the mend for sure. I'm a lot better than I was yesterday or the day before. But
That's great.
But yeah, just reach out to me. I did send you an email.
Yeah.
Did see that, and I'll email you again just so you know who I am.
Okay.
I go under an alias on YouTube.
Yeah.
But I will email you. I'll also email you. I think Shaw probably emailed this to you, but there is a video of him that was deleted of PJ.
I didn't get that. So yeah, I'd love to see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Hey, real quick, how did you find, have you been subscribed here or did you just recently find me through this?
I think I found you might have maybe through like a hashtag, and I threw the YouTube channel in our group. So
wow.
We started watching. We were actually waiting since yesterday. I was like, oh, this person's going live and talking about it. So we all knew that it was coming up tonight.
Oh, that's great. And listen, I don't put anything out there to offend anybody. We try to, what I do is I stick, what LTL podcast does is I always say we because of my subscribers. We stick to the facts. We don't exploit anybody. We put relevant information out there. We are very sympathetic to all of the victims, the friends, the families, the community here on this podcast. And we want to just get it right. And that's why I ask for people, if you have information, your legitimate, credible source, fill us in and let us know, because we want to get the word out about these victims and we want to get correct information out there. And again, I spent like 4 hours on the map today and I just watched her, looked at her movements. I read through dozens of articles and put this all together. And I said, it's just strange. It's odd and it's strange. And hopefully, we have some good news soon here. So, thank you for calling in. I appreciate it. Let's stay in contact. I'd love to have you call back and give us an update in a couple of days.
Will do. Yeah. Thank you so much. Also, like I did follow the Gabby Petito case pretty extensively back when that happened. I know there's a lot of there's definitely some vibe going on with this case, and unfortunately, it's happened to somebody that I know personally. But yeah, just again, thank you for the transparency and making sure you're getting the information out, because I know with that case there was a lot of people were going in all different directions in that case. So.
Well, I mean, it's the same way too. We follow the Idaho 4 case. I'm sure you've heard of it. And there's a lot of BS around that case, and there's a lot of victim bashing in that case, and it's disgusting because there's YouTube channels out there that use these cases to exploit for clicks and views and put awful information out there about the victims and the families. I'm frankly, excuse my language, I'm fucking tired of it. It's not right, because the bottom line is this: when I go to bed at night, I have to feel good when I lay my head on the pillow about the information that I put out there about somebody. I would not want that done to me, one of my family members or friends. So I don't understand why people would do that on the flip side. And I think a lot of it is because they hide behind a screen, they hide behind a camera, and they don't have that personal connection to that victim, the friends, family, or the community. And it's pretty disgusting. I call it out all the time. I think it's disgusting. And it shouldn't be done. And hopefully, that these families are smart and they go after these people civilly for the crap that they put out there. But I digress.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you 100%. So
yeah, but
thank you again. I will be in touch. I'll shoot you an email right now.
Great. Hey, feel better. Thank you for calling in. Get some rest, and we'll catch up in a couple of days.
Will do. Thanks so much.
All right. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Great. That's awesome. Good stuff. Good stuff. We love when the live callers can call in and give us, good case information, relevant information. My color is off again. There we go. We're back to normal. Well, you never know what can happen on LTL podcasts. And again, if you are not watching live, you miss those live moments.